Hi, it's Lee Goldstein from thenewstraders.com, and I wanted to show you this morning's manufacturing PMI and services PMI preliminary data report. Now, normally I like to trade the preliminary data reports, but this one just hasn't been very effective. Using bonds, it's no fill after no fill after no fill each month. The trade just doesn't fill at all. Using the yen, only 2 months out of the past 6 have even filled. And the same problem has been with gold. Actually, the yen is 2 out of the last 5 have barely filled. And gold also is problematic. 2 out of the last 5 have filled. One of them was a complete reversal, so not much profit. So it hasn't been worth calling a trade room for this report. It just hasn't been effective enough as a news report. I'm using a bracket of 4. I'm using 3 contracts, 2 for my position 1, using just looking for 3 ticks of target, 1 position looking for 8 ticks of target, and just a small stop of 7. I'm entering the trade at 57. You know, you could enter at 59 either. I'll leave it at 57 because the trade's been so slow. And if my target gets hit, my first target gets hit because I have 2 contracts on it, I'll move my stop to break even -2. So not a very complicated setup. And we'll take a look and see what the trade does using live market data. You can see on the chart there are some interesting magnets that could pull price into them. You've got the central pivot, the PP. So you could have a move if the news is, keep in mind we're trading gold, so if the news is negative, gold generally moves up. So if the news is negative and agreeable, gold could move towards the central pivot. When I say agreeable, what I mean is that the forecast on both the PMI and the services are in the same direction. Either they're both positive or they're both negative. That will tend to drive gold in one direction. The other possible magnet is S1, because as you can see, the low of the day is being tested now as we speak, and is almost 12 minutes, 13 minutes roughly until the report is released. So I don't think you can count the low of the day as a magnet anymore. It is pulling the price into it as we speak. So just a couple of interesting things on the chart, pivots on the chart to take note of before the news is released. We're watching the gold chart, getting ready for the manufacturing PMI report, services PMI to come out, and gold tested the low as it was doing, and then it's going up to test the 200. So it's not anything frightening or unusual to worry about before a report. It's pretty normal behavior for an index to test magnets on a chart before and of course after a news report. There's about 25 seconds left to go until the news is released. It's a little bit unusual release time, 9:45 a.m. That's not a normal release time. It is for some reports. There's a few reports that release at 9:15 and 9:45, but most reports are on the half hour, on the hour. So let's see what happens.
Order pending.
Brackets are there. We'll give it a 10-second cancel. I wouldn't want to hang around much longer. I think it's gonna
Order pending.
fill to the south. The news is all positive. Not
Order
dramatic,
filled.
but it hit our first target. The stop gets moved to break even -2. Then the question is, are you going to get follow through? Do you want to give it time? Give it time to wait. Or are you going to want to move your target into the price? That's always the biggest news trading decision you could make. What you could do is reduce your risk to break even. That you can do. And because we're not getting much follow through, it's been almost a minute. What I would do in this report, because of its history of slow movement,
Order filled.
grab my profit and say goodbye to the report with $100 roughly. It is sim, so your fills might not have been exactly the same. But today the report would have worked. And again, didn't trade it live because this report has only worked barely 50% of the time. And that's not good odds to put in your favor. But now it's got my radar up even more for next month, where I'll take a more serious look at it and maybe even call a mini trade and a trade room for this report when it's on preliminary data. This was manufacturing PMI, services PMI, and it would have worked today. Wouldn't have been a big profit, but I like these little reports because you don't get a lot of risk, and there's nothing wrong with making $100 in 30-40 seconds. This is Lee Goldstein from thenewstraders.com. Definitely, I'll see you soon in the trade room. Take care.